Hi guys, Simon Treselian here. I wanted to carry on with what I was talking about yesterday in regards to the Lebanese Pagers. And I want to talk about communication, because people are getting the wrong idea as to why this was actually done. It wasn't just to try and take out as many people as possible. They could do that with airstrikes. It's actually very much more subtle than what people are actually thinking at the present time. You know, so it's really interesting. I remember back in the army when my first task in the army, I joined the Royal Signals as a young 16-year-old, and I was what was called a spec op, which is a special operator, which is electronic warfare. And I only did it for a year before I transferred to intelligence, but I learnt a lot about communications, clearly. And interestingly enough, Napoleon Bonaparte himself said the secret to warfare is in communications. Because if you can disrupt the communications of an enemy, then you can actually stop them disseminating intelligence, giving orders to deploy, being able to stop them to reacting to any type of action, this type of thing. So with this Israeli, and we're assuming that it's an Israeli attack on Hezbollah, it's not quite what you see, okay? So as we know, Israeli electronic warfare, whether it be intercept or whether it be jamming protocols or anything like this, is highly sophisticated. And of course, everyone has a mobile phone, and if you have a mobile phone which is attached to a tower, then you can be geolocated. The police in nearly every country in the world do that under a process called Stingray. They literally geolocate the towers, and as your phone goes from tower to tower, it gives a pretty precise indication as to where you are. So that is what happened with Hezbollah. So that as they were driving along with their mobile phones, and as they were going through TikTok, Facebook, whatever they were doing, it was giving their location away. And then, of course, you just feed that information to a drone, and the drone just sends a missile, and all of a sudden your life changes. So the Hezbollah, in their wisdom, decided that they would go low-tech and went to the bleepers, and we saw what happened there. They went from the bleepers to handheld radios, and that went as well. So now what we've done, as you can see, is that they've totally disrupted the communications of a terrorist group. Now, the way that a terrorist group reacts is very different to a normal standing army. A normal standing army has very many layers of communication, everything from direct orders from headquarters to signals intelligence, all the way down to individual commands and hand signals, literally, by the army on the ground. So what they've now done is taken away any type of sophisticated communications. They've taken away any type of very basic communications that were available probably late in the 70s. And now they're down to, what are they going to use? Smoke signals and flags? Or they're going to be tied to landlines. And of course, with landlines, it's very easy to actually tap into the exchange, and then you'd be able to hear what they say anyway, and you can't really encrypt landlines. So essentially, with terrorist groups, they rely on individual communications because of their security. And this was something that came out very much when I was working counterterrorism in the late 70s and 80s. We used to call it the Carlos complex. Okay, so Carlos the Jackal, it came from that, in that they had a cell structure so that individual terrorist groups would confine their information and their communication to a very, very small group of people, which obviously added to their operational security. So this has now totally disrupted anything like that. So it means that the command of Hezbollah cannot order strikes. It cannot relay information that it may be getting from agents on the ground or agents embedded in Israel. It can't get that information to the people that actually need it. So this is a very, very powerful way of disrupting an enemy. So Israel has actually treated Hezbollah not like a terrorist group, but actually as a nation state. in the sophistication that they've used to disrupt this, which is people are going to be talking about this for a long time. This operation, so highly sophisticated and successful, will be talked about in military staff colleges for a long time to come, and it will be a case study of how to totally disrupt an enemy's communications. Because if they can't talk to each other, then all you do is just mop them up. And I think that's exactly what is happening right now. We're seeing the death throes of Hamas. With this, I feel that Hezbollah is going to be on the back foot. It's almost like going to be bombed back into the Stone Age. And I think that what is going to happen in Lebanon is that the Lebanese government, who really, the Hezbollah have been a thorn in their side for a long time. And it does tend to happen when the Shia militias and the Palestinians move into a country, they do tend to take it over and disrupt that country. I remember when Lebanon was what they call the Paris of the Middle East. Very different now. So that is what I feel is actually going to start happening now. You're going to see a major shift in the global dynamics of Hezbollah and its ability to wage a war against what is a first world country. So expect other things to happen as well. The Iranians are a little bit more sophisticated in their operational security, so I don't see things changing there. But you've got to remember that Hezbollah and Hamas and Islamic Jihad are mere proxies of the Iranians. So the Iranians will be onto this really quickly, and I think that from the Israeli point of view, they've got to look at how Iran are going to respond, not how Hezbollah are going to respond. Hezbollah are just going to throw a few more rockets in, but Iran is going to do a lot of technical work against Israel now, and they will be looking for a solution, a secure communication solution to be able to give to Hamas and to Hezbollah. That's my prediction. So anyway, that's hopefully it's answered a few questions that people had, and I look forward to seeing you soon. I'm Soren Trizelian, out to you. Bye-bye now.